There we are, back again, John Augustine. So let's talk now. I'm going to be just show a few little pictures and a few little pictures. Now, first of all, there's my great grandfather. Now, what was it? James Bond? There you see him. He had a few fishing boats going back, and there's his wife. She was a Vaughan, my granny, and a little boy with him is James. He died of diphtheria not long after that. And my father was christened John James after that little fella. And as a matter of fact, he was reared. He was reared with. But he couldn't have been reared with them. I think he was, because the grandfather had a fishing boat, and one called the Esther, and they were in thatched houses, but he built two houses and put roof on them, where there was a shop at 22 and 23 Main Street in Hoth. So he was a prudent man, and you can see he has a chain and a watch, and that's my great grandfather, and my great grandmother, and she was. My father was reared with them, and he was christened John James because it was a big family, and they got him when he was 3 months old, and so he was reared with them. And now here's my grandfather and my granny on the Malone side. He was John Malone, and that's my granny, Mary Jane Vaughan. Her father was what I'm after showing you there a minute ago. I see the lad sitting down. He looks like a gosling, doesn't he? He looks like a young fella. He was a master carpenter, but he died young. He got consumption. He went to the United States, and of all times to go, 1929 or just before, America was booming, and then suddenly there was this crash. And unfortunately, he was there, and he wanted my granny to go over and the children, but she didn't, and she was right, because unfortunately the thing was against me, and he died at 47 years of age. He probably picked up something over there, because in the winter time that place would freeze you, and when instead of him doing well with what he was his profession, so there was no work. Soup kitchens. So there you are. You couldn't be in a worse place than New York. So that's that. And now I'll just show you another little one, because I'm talking about the faith. What experience, There we are. We made our in Boyle. I'll just show you. You see there. There's my father. I'm just beside the father. My mother's in the middle, and her father, my grandfather on her side. My Kyo was her name. My brother Don is there, and my little brother Brian in the front. So I made my confirmation at 12. There's my sister there. God, I don't see her. Wait now. That's funny. But she's in one. And so let me see. Now, there's my father, and there's my sister, and my little brother Brian. With my little brother Brian, he died at 13 years of age. My mother and my father and my sister. I thought she made something as well. Must be in another photograph. But anyways, I just thought to show you those because this is where we're talking about the faith. And I'll show you then tomorrow, please God, I'll show you my aunts and uncles that was taken. And I'll be you'll be surprised. I hope you'll be pleasantly surprised. So I'm just sharing that because this is the background I came from that had a great influence on the foundation of the Catholic faith. Now, not everybody, like I had lots of aunts and uncles in Holt, more than likely, not when we moved to Boyle so much, but when I was young in Holt, where I made my first Holy Communion myself. And there's a photograph of me there too on that. We'll show you that tomorrow too. And I visited them all after my first Holy Communion. And I got a little bit of financial, whatever it was at the time, because this is a good few years ago. And so I did all right on that day. But of course, had to give it up. Don't know if I even got held in that, maybe got ice creams or something. But suffice to say that they were all practicing Catholics. And so there was a great influence. Now, not everybody has that. Years ago, they might have had it, but the modern ones later on, when there was all these changes come, they didn't have that. Because you do need a foundation, the same as building a house, a foundation. Jesus mentioned that in the Bible a few times. Um, so the faith needs to be there needs to be a foundation, and because it's a great gift. And so we're talking about these things, and I mentioned just earlier that a friend rang me about this business of bishops meeting this Father James Martin, SJ Jesuit Society of Jesus, and he's a pro homosexual priest. Caused a lot of confusion, but he was questioned in the Vatican by Pope Francis, causing confusion to the faithful as well. When other ones that were faithful and practicing, he didn't seem to meet at all. He seemed to meet all these ones. Now, supposed to say that he was invited to address the bishops. Apparently, in Knock. Now, normally they have it in Minute, their meetings. So I don't know what they're doing in Knock. This is what I was told by a very reputable practicing Catholic in the traditional kind, and well, well up and everything, and and even have a magazine that they come out with every couple of weeks. So they're pretty well up. And so that's was told that now. That's the first I heard of it. So I'm just reporting it now to see and inquire later on somewhere, perhaps tonight or tomorrow. I'll be going to the 7 o'clock. This is the first Friday. I'll be going to Mass 7 o'clock now after this. So there you are, and I hope that you were fortunate to have a foundation for your faith. And as you go through life, you often go a bit astray, because there's pressures vis-a-vis work and this, that, and the other, and all the rest of it. And but fortunately, when I was growing up, all the people I was friendly with then, the rest of us in Boykin Roscommon, and they always went to mass and confession and all the rest of it. So it was nothing unusual. There was only one individual that was different, and we didn't have much to do with him, quite frankly, whatsoever. And but that's the way it was. And I think they all, as time went on, practiced it too. And when they went to adulthood, alone for a bit of time, even when they might have went astray, yourself. That happens at some stages, doesn't it? Don't always be having our feet on the ground the way we should. But the foundation was there, and once it's there, you don't be long sort of coming back to the way, the truth, and the life. And of course, I read a bit of the Bible every day, which is a great nourishment, and I recommend it for anyone to do that. And especially if there's one that's lapsed. I've heard of the sacrament of confession, the great gift of the Catholic faith, the sacrament of confession. You don't have to go to a big psychiatrist to try and sort yourself. Go to confession, get it off your chest, and then God forgets. Priest is acting in the place of God. That's a special gift. Yeah. But confessions are not widely available now, unfortunately. But there are churches where you can get it and then make for there. Certainly, if you visit Knock, there's always priests there holding confession from morning until about 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening in the winter time and maybe later in the summer. And that's a great place to go to sort of make your general confession, writing down what your sins, that type of thing. A good general confession. It's a great gift. Lives out. I did it years ago in Knock. Yeah, I attended I read a book that my sister gave me, and it by a priest that gave missions, silent retreats in Knock, lasting 5 days, usually from um, Sunday to the following Friday. Sunday was checking in, and then Monday it was 5 days and finished on the Friday. But it was a great gift when I read that book. It mentioned that and write it down, going back as much as you could, and don't be hiding at it. Just out with it. So there you are. It is just sharing these things to help us all. That's what we do. That's how we were helped ourselves. People sharing what their experiences was. I sort of had that great gift from my aunts and uncles and others, not just them. Bye now. Enjoy the rest of your evening.